Hi there, Dr. Karen Lally here, and it's Heart Month, Healthy Heart Month. So I wanted to come today and talk a little bit about Heart Month. What does that mean? Well, your heart is the physical center and the emotional center of your body, isn't it? It's right in here. And your heart includes a lot of things that people don't normally associate with the heart. So I'm going to talk a little bit first about the feelings. So I'd like you to just sit there quietly, put your hand on your chest for just a moment. You don't have to feel your heartbeat, but just to get in touch with your heart a little bit and think about your reaction when I say these words. With all my heart, or my heart is open to you. How does that make you feel? Or my heart is aching, my heart and soul, or even the heart of the matter. So you react to that. Those all have different energies, but it does have an emotional component. And I think that's something that we don't want to forget about and just isolate the heart like it's an organ all by itself. It isn't. Of course, you probably realize it's part of the cardiopulmonary system, which is your heart and lung complex. And that heart and lung circulation is what brings the blood to your body. Your heart's about as big as your fist, more or less. 2 small chambers on top, 2 bigger ones on the bottom, and the big ones are what push the blood out. And your blood has to go through the arteries, and that is what makes your blood pressure. If you have high blood pressure, that means there's a lot of resistance when your heart is pushing the blood out with those strong lower ventricles. What makes it hard to push out is the fact that there's pressure building in the rigidity and hardness of your arteries. If your arteries are nice and fluid and open and wide, lumen or whole, the blood can easily flow through. If they're rigid or plaqued or cholesterol ridden, then it's a smaller hole and it's harder for the blood to push through, and that elevates your blood pressure. The top number is how hard it's pushing, and the bottom number is how much it's resting. That's your blood pressure. Isn't that interesting? Why is heart disease considered the #1 killer? Does anybody know? I hear silence. Heart disease is silent. It's silent and deadly. Why? Because a lot of people don't have symptoms to it until later on after there's been heart damage. So it's good to know what your blood pressure is. That's an easy way of seeing how your heart health is. A very quick and simple look into it. What causes high blood pressure? What are risk factors? I'm sure some of you know them, but I'm going to go over them quickly now. Weight, being obese or overweight, smoking cigarettes, probably smoking anything, but I know cigarettes. Food choices, if you eat a lot of saturated fats, and also your genes, your genetics are important. All of those things are considerably big topics that we will cover at a different time, but I would just want you to know that those are pretty important parts to it. The other thing is your mindset. What type of personality do you have? I'm somewhat type A, but I take a lot of time to relax. And I think you should. Relax and take action, both, at separate times. Because if you're all type A and you're always hyped up and going, believe it or not, when you're doing that, you're kind of aggravating or hyper charging your heart. And it doesn't need to beat fast just from stress. It can beat fast from exercise, from exertion, But you don't want it to beat fast just because you're a nervous wreck. That's not a good thing. What other lifestyle factors affect you besides the few we mentioned before? These are kind of interesting. These are more the emotional component of the heart. They're called lifestyle factors, i.e., are you married or not? It seems like most married people have a better time with heart disease. Less married people get heart disease. Maybe you make poor choices when you are living alone as far as foods go, or even activities, or you don't do enough activities. Having a pet soothes your heart, fills your heart. That's also something that helps you with getting less heart disease. Exercise, biking, yoga, and marathons, they said, were the better ones to do for heart health. What are some other habits? You want to not drink a lot of caffeine or energy drinks. I have a brain drink right here. It comes in a bunch of different flavors. It's really good. That helps you, your brain, helps your nervous system, helps your focus, concentration, memory, without the caffeinated push that also affects your heart rate. The American Heart Association said the 3 factors that affect you the most in the U.S. that increase your blood pressure. At least 50% of all people in this nation, they said, have one of these, are increased cholesterol, diabetes, or overweight. So what are we going to do about that? 1, we can pick healthier foods. 2, we can supplement our diet. 3, we can activate our genetic pathways towards healthy living, decreasing toxins and stress on our system. What are some heart healthy foods? Anybody know? Things rich in potassium. Potassium balances salt in our system. I'm not going to go into the chemistry, but I will tell you some foods that you should eat. Bananas, right? They also help cramping legs. Sunflower seeds, excuse me, watermelon, raisins, prunes, and spinach, because it also has folate in it, which is important for heart health. Then antioxidants with a deep color, deep green, purple. Those are also healthy for your heart. Purple potatoes. Anybody eat purple potatoes? They stay purple. They're really interesting. Beets and roasted root vegetables are very good. Oats. I'm sure you've heard of that. That's been Cheerios with their heart-shaped cereal. And dark chocolate, and of course fish oils and other omegas. I recommend a great omega oil that is high in the right ones, the 3s, the 7s, low in the wrong ones, the 9s. And the American Heart Association also talks about this certain genetic pathway called your NERV2 pathway, and your sirtuins, which turn on your survival genes that help your cells function more efficiently. They did 4 studies on that kind of a thing that I would love to get into, but we're not going to now. There's also a few herbs that are good for you, like hawthorn berry and red rice yeast. Those are something that can help your heart, but you should consult with a nutritionist before you just go and get that yourself, so we can see what your baseline is and where you want to go with your heart health. The last thing I'm going to tell you is a couple of great spices that are also in something I love. Turmeric, that's very good for you. That's in this. Small amounts of green tea are good for you. And then other ones that you can flavor your foods with are cardamom, ginger, cinnamon, and garlic. Garlic has been shown in multiple studies to reduce your blood pressure. So those are things I'd like you to think about in this Heart Healthy Month, which every month should be a Heart Healthy Month. Dr. Karen Lally here, helping to lead, inspire, and educate you. Reach out to me, KarenLolly.com, You can find me on Google or my email, drkarenwellness@gmail, drkaren wellness, all one word, @gmail. I hope you find this helpful. I hope this finds you healthy and whole. Thank you.